Have you ever wondered why love just feels out of reach? I see the comments all the time. I can't find love. I can't find somebody that is meant for me. I don't know where to look. I've tried everything. I've given up on the world. And I've been there too. As an INFP myself, I felt those things. And I have found that there are other ways that we can go about it. And today I'll go into some of the unique challenges that us INFPs face in love, in relationships, as well as some of the strengths that we bring into those relationships, and how we can use our personality type dynamics to understand the struggles and to find true happiness. So in order to go into this journey of understanding INFPs in love, we need to explore how our internal dynamics work and how they influence our perception of relationships and of ourselves within those relationships. So first, let's talk a little bit about the dynamics of the psyche of the INFP. So we have these 8 cognitive functions, which I'm not going to go into all of them, but they are the different ways that we learn about the world, that we perceive the world, and the ways that we make decisions upon that information. And how our psyche is structured, the main core characters of our mind's questing party are introverted feeling, which I call the soul. If you were to imagine it as a character within your fellowship of your mind, the soul is the one about resonating. What fits with me? How do I like this thing? Do I like it? Do I dislike it? What does my conscience say about it? That is the main protagonist of our story. And we also have extroverted intuiting, technically, as our auxiliary function. This is like the mentor of our party. It's what I call the explorer. And this is the one that's idea generating, looking for new possibilities, new novel ideas, having a lot of fun, being spontaneous. And we also have introverted sensing, our tertiary function, which I call the guardian. And the guardian is the one that is checking in with the past, looking to maintain consistency and stability by checking in with what worked in the past and implementing that. And that is one of the things that cause us problems throughout our journey if we don't know how to use it correctly. And then the 4th function that we'll be talking about a little bit is extroverted thinking. And this is what I call the commander. This is like the maverick, the wild one, the rebellious one within our fellowship that is like, it's about strategizing. It's about getting things done, checking things off a list, accomplishing tasks. And for us as INFPs, that is a point of weakness. We have an inferiority complex around it. We wish that we could have some more organization in our lives, but we also know that it would clash with the soul. The soul and the commander are opposite ends of the polarity. So when we're talking about the dynamics of our psyche, we need to look at Fi and Ne, the soul, and the explorer dynamics specifically, because this leads us to the idealization trap. INFPs are known for idealizing people and situations. And the reason why that comes about is because Fi, introverted feeling, the soul, makes us deeply empathetic, and we feel emotions strongly. And most people will say we feel others' emotions, but really what it is we feel their emotion as a represented emotion within us. Meaning that if somebody is sad, we go inside and we find a time that we were sad. We find that within us and we bring that out. Okay, so although it says we feel others' emotions deeply, we feel our version of their emotions deeply. And this is one of the causes of idealization, because we put ourselves into their situation. And how we do that is through NE, extroverted intuition. NE fuels our fantasies. So the soul puts us into the people, but NE fuels this desire to explore different situations and contexts, and using our imagination can create these perfect, amazing scenarios about other people, about who they are, what they're doing in life, what they're thinking, the possibilities that they could bring to the world. And it makes it difficult for us to accept their flaws, which is one issue that causes struggle when we're looking for love, when we're trying to go into a relationship. is eventually we're going to find people's flaws. It's a part of life. Everybody has flaws, even us. When we find those, it's a huge letdown because we've metaphorically put them up on this pedestal. And the only way to get down from the pedestal is likely to fall or to be brought down in some way, to see eye to eye when they're there. Or we could raise ourselves up, which would be a good thing if that's what we're looking for. It's about status, right? And that causes a lot of mixed emotions as well as a big drop down, right? We're looking at it. We're like, okay, this person is so great. They're the best person in the entire world. They're the most unique, amazing soul. And then if we find a flaw, if they do something that brushes one of our values in a way that we don't like it, then it's like, how could you? Like, you were so amazing. You were this awesome person. And that is a big letdown for us. And so what we need to do, based off my experience, is to do a reality check, to recognize when your idealization distorts reality, and then to do something proactive and productive about that. It's essential to see people for who they are, who they truly are, not with all these rose-colored lenses that we put on them. And while idealizing others can kind of feel romantic, like I would do anything for this person, they're amazing, I only see the good in them, it also prevents us INFPs from seeing the truth about the other person and our relationship with them. And that can cause a lot of problems down the road. Now, I'm not saying to be pessimistic or overly critical, but being joyfully and responsibly idealistic is a very good thing. So how do you do that? Well, here are 3 things that you can do to balance idealism and reality. So the first one is to journal. I recommend this all the time to other people within this channel, but also to clients and customers of the INFP Masterclass. You can go to infp.geekpsychology.com if you're interested in that. So first, practice journaling, grounding techniques, looking into what happened today. What were your feelings about it? What were your experiences? What are the thoughts that spiral out from those? So you can reflect over your perceptions. Reflect over what you did, what worked, what didn't work very well. And we'll talk a little bit about this more within the introverted sensing section too. One amazing thing that you can journal about is what is the type of person that you want in your life, right? Like you have to know what you're looking for or you won't know if you find it. A lot of people will just kind of go through life and expect that they will stumble across the things that they want in life. And throughout my years, as I'm 40 now, I have realized that it's really helpful to use your commander to set a goal. This is the kind of person I want in my life. This is what they look like. This is what they're doing. This is what they're interested in. Once you have that, your reticular activating system can pinpoint that. Your extroverted intuiting, your explorer can say, oh, we're getting closer. If we jump over here and over here and over here and take this little quest around this way, then we will get closer to that goal. And that is awesome. That's how we can use our psyche and our brain to get more of what we want. But you're not going to know that if you don't journal. Next, self-reflection. Take time to analyze your thoughts and emotions objectively. It can be very difficult because we are so attached to it. It's like that Bruce Lee quote about the fingerprints being so close to your face that you can't see the moon or something like that. I should look up quotes before I try to recite them. We're so attached to our introverted feeling, to our values, to our emotions as well, that it can become really difficult to see them objectively. So within journaling, you can write them out and then you can look at them from a different perspective. Like if I were a scientist and I read this, what questions would I have? I would want to be more specific about things likely. Who exactly? What exactly? Why specifically do you feel this way? And then journal more about those. Or you could take on the persona of a different character that you like, Iron Man, or a different personality type, ENTP, ENTJ, INFJ, ISTP, something different than who we are for the sake of getting different perspectives. Not in order to change ourselves and make ourselves different, but to expand who we are and who we can be in the different perspectives that we have. And third, reality checks regularly compare your idealized perceptions with observable facts. This is another very difficult thing. But if you imagine next year I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to be living on a beautiful island in this amazing, pure white house with this awesome person that I haven't met yet, and we're going to have 3 kids and 10 cats and 2 dogs, then that is not checked with reality. And it might be fun to imagine that stuff, but you gotta work up to it, right? That might happen, but also it might not. So check yourself with that and be like, am I really grounded here? Probably not. As an INFP, I'm generally not grounded in that sense. But with constant checks, I can, I was going to say lower myself. I can ground myself and make sure that my feet are planted, that I'm stable, that I can take steps to get towards where I want instead of floating in limbo. I hope you followed that metaphor. So once you understand the idealization dynamics, then you'll see how this next aspect, introverted sensing, can really complicate your journey in love as an INFP. Introverted sensing, SI, the memory and comfort zone struggle. This is a big one in all aspects of life as an INFP and also in relationships. So introverted sensing, SI, relates to past experiences. It's capturing sensory-based experiences and then reflecting and reviewing over them and pulling from them the nuggets of good information that we're able to use to implement into our present, to check, this is how things were in the past, this is how things are now, what should I expect here, what's the right thing to do. But the problem is that because of the organization of our psyche, our function stack, as it's called, you, as an INFP, rely on memories, which are often holding too tightly to things that happened in the past, and it can cause fear for leaving our comfort zone, for getting out, for exploring new possibilities, and doing the things that the explorer, which is one of our strengths, wants us to do. So as a very tangible experience analogy here, we'll talk about coffee. There's a specific canned coffee that I like, okay? When I see that, I buy that. But there are hundreds of other different variations, especially in Japan, which is like fueled on coffee. There's vending machines everywhere with coffee, all the convenience stores, everything has coffee in it. But I tend to pick the same ones that I always pick because I know that I generally like it. Now, this one could be better, this one could be better. Every once in a while, my explorer gets me to try a new thing, and I'm like, oh, I like that one, because I didn't always like that one specific coffee, right? I had to try it at some point to learn that I liked it. And for us INFPs, we get stuck with the one coffee, the one person, the one thing, the one ideal. And we often don't allow ourselves to explore all of these different options. But when we do, we create this larger database of contextual connections, patterns that we can pull from to say, oh, actually, when I dated this person 5 years ago, they did this thing that I didn't like. I'm going to put that on my list. And they also did these 5 things that I did like. I should put that on my list too. Maybe I can find someone who has those in a better ratio. So using introverted sensing in a positive way can be really helpful. And knowing that if you are not comfortable getting outside of your comfort zone, then likely you are stuck in a loop in sorts. And a loop is when introverted feeling, introverted sensing go back and forth. They're just talking to each other, the soul and the guardian. I feel like this. This is the right thing to do. Yes, it is, the guardian says. And it provides you with all the reasons for why that's true based off your past experiences. It's like if you Google, why can I not find love? You will get the top 100,000 results of the reasons why you cannot find love. But if you search for what are some ways that I could meet somebody new in the next week, well, you'll find those too. So using your psyche, these different characters in the right way is really helpful. And third, recognizing unhealthy problems and patterns. So what memories are holding you back? If there's something from your past that's holding you back and not serving you anymore, it's time to rewrite it. It's time to adjust it. You can do that with self-hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming. You can do the long way of going to talk therapy and grounding the same negative beliefs and patterns in, and hopefully you can find a way around it. As you can see, I don't like talk therapy. Self-hypnosis, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming are very good ways of going about it. Acknowledge those things that happened in the past and consider their relevance to your present and what you want in your future. You are not decided by what happened in the past. You can change it. You can adjust things. You can rewrite it. You can remove the negative emotional charge to those past experiences. If it's not serving you, stop doing it, stop maintaining it, get rid of it. Now, if it keeps coming back, there's probably a lesson within that is important for you to understand and important for you to sift through and sit with and understand why that keeps coming up in a positive way. Always shift things towards the positive. I used to also feel like, well, I don't want to change my emotions. I don't want to pretend to be happy. But what I found out was that if bad things happen, there's some way that I can look at it with a sense of gratitude and say, I learned from this, or now I can stop this bad experience from happening to somebody else because I am more educated now. And you can do that too with all of your past experiences as well. And yes, some of them are more difficult than others. Not denying that in any way, but there is a way around it. And your explorer can help you think of different pathways and different ideas and generate new possibilities through that. So while introverted sensing can provide comfort, it might also make you feel stuck until you learn how to harness its potential and use it in a way that is beneficial to you. So to go a little deeper and have it a little bit more structured, harnessing introverted sensing effectively means to reflect on the past lessons. Use your past experiences to gain valuable insights. Don't use them to hold you back. Don't use them as a burden to feel weighed down by them. Learn from them. Because what else are you going to do? You're just going to keep re-experiencing negative things. And then every time you remember something, you're actually changing the memory again, just by remembering it based off your current state. So if you're in a negative state and you're remembering something that happened that was negative, you're just making it worse and worse until you deal with that. Also, stay open to new possibilities. So while learning from the past, you can also remain receptive to new experiences and opportunities. If you don't like this one thing, or if you do like this one thing, use that as a guidepost to shift how you explore and how you learn more about yourself and other people. Again, to tie it to other people and relationships, I went out to the clubs every week because I knew that I needed to learn how to talk to people better. I needed to learn how to get outside of my comfort zone, to expand my sense of identity, and to be able to talk to the people who I wanted to talk to, and specifically to meet that one person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. And if I wasn't ready to do that, if I didn't train myself by being open to new possibilities and experiences and talking to people and things beyond that, then I don't think I would have been ready. And that's another conversation. Are we ever ready? I don't think so, but we have to take a leap sometime or take a step depending. Anyway, balance past and present. So find ways to honor your memories while embracing the present moment. So the things that happen to you are important. Anybody with introverted sensing will have some sort of understanding of that. Like what happened in the past does shape who you are now, but it doesn't shape who you will become. And we can learn from those things. Like my parents' divorce. That was something that really shaped my perspective of relationships. When I was younger, I thought that anybody that I would get close to, younger as in up until mid-20s, anybody that I would get close to would get hurt because I was a bad person. I felt that I was poison in some way. Came from past experiences, came from early relationships and interactions with other people. And it shaped me until I realized that that wasn't true, that that was just one perspective, one set of experiences that I just kept bundling together until it became this bigger thing. But it wasn't the truth. It wasn't the whole truth. And it was something that I changed. And you can do it too. So after navigating the internal challenges, the next key to finding love lies in a powerful personal realization that I had that I want to share with you. This was a game changer in terms of my perspective of what I wanted and who I could be with. And just, it gave me a sense of direction and understanding, which was lacking before. So I call this the commitment hack. It's quite simple, but it's using our imagination to imagine life without the other person. If you are in a relationship, this is something that I hear all the time, so this is why I'm bringing it up. There are a couple different groups, right? There's the one group that's like, I have nobody. I can't find anybody. There's nobody around. And then there's the other one that I usually hear from people who are dating INFPs, but this has also come from INFPs too, is a lack of commitment. And I've been through it too. I was dating many people at the same time. And I know, some of us have different perspectives on that, but it was known. We all understood what was going on. And despite liking certain people, I wasn't able to commit to them because I wasn't sure. Like, could I really spend my whole life with this person? Is this really what I want in my life? And I didn't have this commitment hack. And then I started dating my wife. She's my wife now. She wasn't my wife then, obviously. I got to that point of like, okay, maybe I need to decide. Maybe I need to make a commitment. But I don't know, like, am I really going to be able to spend my whole life with this person? Again, those questions. So I asked myself, what if they weren't in my life? And if you're in this situation now, ask yourself this. What if they weren't in your life? Identifying the void can reveal your true feelings. I just went through my life journey idealizing in a way, but in the other way of like, okay, if I never saw this person again, how would I feel? Would I regret it? Would I be okay? And it showed me that there's this fear of losing and fear of commitment that were kind of intertwined and tangled up a bit. And I realized that I was more afraid of losing her than the idea of committing. And this was a big turning point for me because once I realized that, then not committing stopped becoming an option and I was able to lean into my relationship with her and be more present and available and intent about our future together. We've been together for about a decade now, have 2 kids, married, all those things that came from me actually committing and making that decision that I wanted this person in my life and I imagined my ideal future with her and my unideal future, a regrettable future without her. And it was an instant switch. It was like, okay, I know what I got to do. And it's very difficult for many INFPs to get to that point of knowing what to do. So that's the commitment hack. So you might be surprised at how this simple activity, this simple exercise can shift your perspective on love and commitment and other things in your life. So to go a little bit deeper, here's how you can apply the commitment hack. First, visualize it. visualize. When in doubt, visualize your life without your partner, and it might really just shock you. It might clarify your true desires. It's very helpful to work backwards sometimes, to say, okay, how would I completely ruin my life? Well, I would do this and this and this. These are the things that I would be doing, so I'm not going to do those. To invert it. Right? So if you imagine without that person, you might have a clearer understanding. And again, as always, reflect. Take time to process your feelings and insights from that exercise. You don't need to make a quick decision, but making a decision to decide to do something or not do it is better than deciding to continuously waffle back and forth. The reason why we don't make that decision is because we haven't clarified what we want and what we don't want, and maybe how to get it. And next, act. Take action on it. Use that clarity to guide your decisions and commit in your life. And in this case, in romantic pursuits. And there's one more hack that I'm going to tell you that I tell everybody, and it might sound a bit insensitive. I hope that it doesn't come off that way. But when people are like, I can't find the person that I want in my life. I can't find anybody. Using my own past experience, using where I came from, I ask them if they are the type of person that they would want to date, because I wasn't. When I was upset and worrying about this and stressed out and depressed and all these negative things, I didn't work on myself in the way that I should have been. I wasn't reading. I wasn't going into self-development. I wasn't taking care of my health, my energy, my clothing, my looks, everything. I wasn't doing anything that was assigned to other people, especially the type of person that I wanted to be with. I wasn't doing the things that would be assigned to them, that I am worthy of dating, that I am like the type of person that would give value back to them and be good with them and for them and to them. And it's a hard one, I know, but it took years of practice and self-development and focus on it. And it could have gone faster, but it went as fast as it needed to, I suppose. And it's never over. Self-development is a constant journey. So if you're not there yet, just know that you can get there, and continually working on yourself is really helpful, so that you can become the type of person that when your ideal partner sees you, they're attracted to you, whether it's physical attraction or emotional, spiritual, or whatever other kind of attraction. So, INFPs can find love. First, balance idealization. So today we talked about the unique emotional dynamics of INFPs in love, including how to balance idealization with reality. Also, harnessing your past, looking through your past, knowing how to take the beneficial information and knowledge and lessons and turn that into wisdom is extremely important. What did you like? What didn't you like from past experiences, from past relationships? Write it down. Get a clear visualization of it. Draw, I'm sure you like to draw. So draw a picture, right? Find one of the scrap boards, the photo collages, and also use the commitment hack. If you are in a relationship and you can't decide if you should commit or not commit, now I can't promise you that it's going to be perfect. Relationships take work. It's not just something that you can do once and forget about. It's not like a shower. Well, it is like a shower, right? You got to do it again and again and again. You got to work on it. But using the commitment hack, you can maybe get some more clarity of what you do want, what you don't want, what life would be like with or without that other person. And that might give you the solid state within you that, like, commitment. I understand what I want now. I'm ready to commit and take steps towards it. So I hope that this different perspective on INFPs and INFPs in love and relationships can guide you on your journey for finding true love as an INFP. And please share your thoughts, experiences, and comments down below because it's really helpful and it's encouraging, not just for me, but for other people to know that we're not the only ones, right? There are other people out there that are struggling in the same ways that we struggle, and there are ways of going about it. And you can check out this video over here to understand more about INFP and ENFJ relationships.